Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician channel. And today we're going to be going into Tool Talk episode 3, which is a new series that I revamped from way back in the day, and I really hope you guys enjoy. We'll be going over different tools, my thoughts, certain processes, just things that you might find interesting. So today we're going to be going over wrenches. I've done Tool Talk episode 1, which is organization versus space to save yourself from buying another toolbox or a bigger toolbox. I've also went over Tool Talk episode 2, which was based on the ratchets, my thoughts, and the ones that I have here at home. And today we're going into episode 3, which is going to cover wrenches. We're going to go over my thoughts on whether you're a professional or a DIYer, what you need, and things to consider, as well as looking at the different ones that I have here at the house. So if you guys may notice, I have my Husky 52-inch flat black toolbox, and then I have a Matco toolbox over there. The Matco one was originally supposed to go to my job after I finished college years ago, and out of college I got a job that actually all tools were provided to me. So that's just kind of like my overflow toolbox and tools that I got while going to college. So really I don't use much in there. There's certain items that I keep in there that I've gotten that are new, but like a lot of the Matco tools and stuff like that, just like the impact sockets, especially the larger ones and stuff, everything I need I already had in my Husky toolbox because it was for home use. So a lot of the stuff over there doesn't get used except for the wrenches, some of the ratchets, and then I have some of the Caprice stuff in there like the soldering iron and stuff like that I use, and then I have a whole drawer of wiring and diagnostic stuff. But as far as like the sockets over there, they don't really get used. But today we're going to be focusing on the wrenches, different designs, things to consider, and I really hope you guys enjoy. So as you guys may know, there are a lot of different brands available today. It's not like it was 10 years ago when you had like 5 brands to choose from. You got 100 different brands out there. You got 100 different styles of wrenches to choose from for multiple different situations. And there may be some wrenches out there that you're like, when would I ever need that style of wrench? And there will come that time that you'd be like, that wrench would have probably worked. Or you may have possibly bought a wrench set and never used it, and you're like, why did I buy this? There's going to be that one time that you get to use it and you're going to be like, totally worth it. Or it'll just sit there and you'll be like, why did I ever buy that set? But you won't get rid of it just because. Now I won't necessarily be able to share prices with you of these sets because I have so many different sets and stuff, but I will have the tools and tools continued link, where as long as it's not a Matco set or anything like the tool truck brands, if it's not a tool truck brand, I'll have it most likely down in the tools and tools continued link or the Tecton website or Capri website. But if it's a professional brand, then you'll most likely have to go ahead and check out that Matco or Snap-on or whatever website, or you may have access to the tool truck. The only Snap-on and Matco stuff I have is because when I was going to college, I got a ridiculous discount on it. So I have a lot of different variety. I have stuff from lower quality or lower prices, I should say, because I do my absolute best to find the best quality for the best price, all the way up to the higher end stuff. But keep this in mind. Whether you're a DIYer or a professional, you don't always need top-of-the-line tools for every single job. It's up to you to determine what jobs you do the most and how difficult those jobs are. How much abuse does that job take? Because unless you just have a ridiculous amount of money floating around, buying tools can become very, very expensive. So it's always a good idea to find the best tool for that job, depending on how often you're going to do that job, how hard that job is, what can you get by with, can you save a little bit of money, do you need the best, things like that. And then other things to consider is the warranty. Not just does the tool have a warranty, because almost all tools have warranty now, a lifetime warranty. But what is the process like? I'm not holding on to receipts. I'm not going through a 3-day process and 3 weeks of waiting on a reply to get a tool replaced. I want an easy and fast warranty. It's simple enough. I know a couple companies that do it. It can be done. Everybody should move towards that. I should not have to hold on to a receipt for 5 years and expect to have it. Even if I did have it, most likely the print's rubbed off of it because it's so old. But other than that, we're going to be looking at different designs, shapes, all of that. You're going to see spline drives, 12 points, 6 points, flex head ratcheting wrenches, reversible ratcheting wrenches, open end wrenches, angled wrenches, open end features in certain wrenches, stubby wrenches, combo wrenches, long wrenches, extra long wrenches. There are a lot out there. There are a lot that I don't have. Moon shape, S shape, X shape, X beam, crisscross applesauce. There's a lot of wrenches out there, and I have a lot of wrenches, but not nearly. I don't even have close to all of the wrenches out there. Obviously not all of the wrenches out there, but all the designs out there. There's different tooth counts, and there's a lot. We'll just put it that way. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me know your guys' thoughts on what wrenches you really enjoy. Also, keep in mind, if you're a DIYer, weekend warrior, if you're okay with buying Snap-on, go for it. Nothing against you. If you like the Harbor Freight or cheaper stuff, more power to you. Whatever works for you. And just like I mentioned in the previous video going over ratchets, I know professionals that are perfectly happy using Harbor Freight tools. I also know DIYers and weekend warriors that are perfectly happy with purchasing Snap-on, Matco, Cornwell, Mac, all of those. It's just whatever you prefer. It's a feeling, it's a price, it's a warranty process. There's a lot that goes into it. So let's go ahead and look at the wrenches that I have here at the house, and I really hope you guys enjoy. So, looking at some of my wrenches, over here I have the gear wrench flare nut wrenches, which I don't use a whole lot, brake lines, fuel lines, things like that, but not a whole lot. I have both SAE and metric over here next to each other. Other than that, this is all SAE, and metric is over here as far as this drawer. And then besides the gear wrench flare nut wrenches, they're okay for the price. Some of them are a little bit thicker, not exactly the highest quality, but for here at the house they have done just fine. Haven't had an issue with spreading or anything like that. Over here I have my SAE Tecton stubby wrenches. These are just the standard 12 point, and that goes from 5/16 to 3/4. And then over here I have a Matco set, and that runs from 1/4 inch, which is also a 12 point, up to 15/16. And this is a spline drive design on the box end, and then so you can see it a little bit better. And then on the open end, these do have some teeth in there. Now sometimes, depending on the fastener, these teeth can sometimes be a little too aggressive, and it's hard to get on certain fasteners with them because they're just extremely close tolerances. So really good wrench set. It's got a little bit of angle to them. And then moving on over, Carlisle 3/8 ratcheting wrench, 12 point. Then I have the deep offset from Gear Wrench. This is their SAE, and that goes from 3/8 1 inch. Not a wrench set that I use all that often. I've probably used them a handful of times over the last 2 years, but I'm really glad I do have them. Then I have a few different brands of the extra long double box end wrenches. I have here a Carlisle, which has a flex head ratcheting box end on one end, and then the other end is just a standard 12 point box end. So the same design that you see here on the Gear Wrench 120 XPs, which is a spline drive ratcheting box end flex head with a spline drive solid box end over here. And that set ranges from 10 millimeter to 19 millimeter. I actually won this on an Instagram giveaway, so that was pretty awesome. So you can kind of see them a little bit better. And then here's just the metric version of the Tecton stubbies that I have. They also have ratcheting versions as well, but this goes from 8 millimeter, 19 millimeter. I've had very good experiences with the Tecton wrenches. They're one of the first wrench sets that I bought, besides what came in like socket sets and stuff, and I was extremely pleased with them. And then over here we have the Capri wrench set. Just so you guys know, nothing else here besides the Matco set over here has an open end feature. Well, most of the ones I showed you are box end wrenches, but the Capri does have an open end feature. This does not have an angle or anything. They're just straight 12-point ratcheting box ends, and this goes from 8 to 19 millimeter. They operate very nicely. They have a blue ring for the metric and a red ring for the SAE. Not sure if you guys can see that. But then in the open end, it also does have a pretty aggressive anti-slip feature or tooth design in the open end of the wrench. And then over here is actually probably one of the best buys that I ever had. This is the large gear wrench set. It's gone up in price since I bought it. I've had it a few years. It goes from 6 millimeter all the way up to 32. It does skip a few of the larger sizes: 31, 28, 29, 25, 26. So I mean, you still get a good variety. You got 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 27, 30, and 32. So it doesn't, it's not a no skip size, but it's a very large set, and they're a little bit longer than your standard combination wrenches. And I think I picked it up for like $80 or $90. I think now it's around $140. Still a good buy. But at the time, it was a killer deal. I think I learned about this set from Justin Dow when he bought his, so I immediately went and picked it up. So thank you, Justin, if you watch this video. I really appreciate it. This was a great wrench set for the price. But when it comes to these, they are a standard 12-point box end, a little bit extra length, and then the open end does have an open end feature, but it's nothing too aggressive. You just have a tooth there at the front and on the bottom, and a tooth there at the back on the top. So here I have the gear wrench flex head ratcheting wrenches, and I've had these for probably 5 years. Not the highest quality wrenches, not the best flex head wrenches, but I think for the time it was a pretty good deal. I got 10 through 19 and 3/8 through 3/4, two different sets. I think I got each one for $30 or $40. I can't remember. It was at Sears, I believe, before they closed down. But you got to be careful with gear wrenches stuff now. Like, they've changed a lot of things, so like you'll see this same wrench set, but like you'll have double the amount of material around the ratcheting portion. Like, they've definitely changed factories when it comes to making some of their tools. You'll find all different types of quality when it comes to gear wrench, so that's just something that you have to keep in mind when purchasing things from them. But I do always like to have a flex head ratcheting wrench. And as far as the ratcheting mechanism, I haven't had any issues with that. A couple of them, as far as the flex head, has loosened up, but that's to be expected. And then over here, we just have a lot of the tools that were given to me while going to college. So we have a different variety of Matco wrenches. So this is a spline drive set. This is just like the SAE set that we looked at in my other box from Matco. This is just the metric set over here. And then we have the ratcheting, which is just and these are all metric as well. These are a 12-point design, and they've been okay. No open end feature or anything like that. The open end heads are a little bit bigger. And I had an issue when I first got these, both metric and SAE ratcheting wrenches from Matco. I'd say 70% of them jammed up on me when I was trying to use them. It must have been because they were new, but like some of them were just horrible. Like, I'd try and just do this, and like it would just lock up on me and it wouldn't do anything. And then after just forcing myself to use them and slapping them on the concrete a few times, they finally decided to work correctly for me. So eventually I decided not to hate them, and I've really enjoyed them now. And then I have a wide variety that goes up to 19 millimeter, and then we got a 1 inch over here, a 7/8. So I don't have a whole lot of like S wrenches or crossbeam wrenches or moon shape wrenches or anything like that. I have a wide variety of spline drive, 12-point ratcheting, standard combination, flex head, long double box end ratcheting wrenches. These are from Easy Red, so they're a little bit thicker than like the gear wrench and other long double box end ratcheting wrenches, but I've had good experiences with them. They've released I think 3 different versions or something. These are their spline drive with the 0 degree offset. It is a locking flex head. You have a little locking button here. And then it is reversible as well. So I figured if I was going to purchase a long double box end ratcheting wrench set, it was going to have as many of the features as I could possibly get. So this is the one I decided to go with. And then shortly after buying this set, I won the gear wrench set. So and then I also have a Tekton 8 and 10 millimeter, and their double box end ratcheting wrenches are actually 6-point. So as long as you don't mind 6-point, sometimes that can be better. But once again, if you're working in tight spaces, sometimes 6-point can be a little bit harder to work with, trying to get at a fastener at a weird angle. You might have to rotate this a couple clicks, and that's where 12 points really shine, is working in those tight areas trying to get onto a fastener. But 6-point is there for the durability of possibly less of a chance of rounding off a fastener. So I have those, and then getting to some of the favorite wrenches that I own, which was quite a surprise. I have a video on them alone, but I have both SAE and metric, and that being the DeWalt. Now keep in mind, they have a handful of different variations of ratcheting wrenches and things. This is their reversible ratcheting wrench. They have a couple different variations. There's one that's cheaper. They have a cheaper flex head version, and I think I got each one of these sets for $100, and that is 10 through 19 and 1/4 inch through 3/4. Both sets were $99. I think I got them at Sears, but I can't remember for sure. But I have been extremely surprised. It's got a little bit of knurling here. Then it has the part number, DeWalt, and then it does have a open end feature as well, similar to that of the gear wrench, but it has basically 2 teeth, one in each corner, and then one at the front on top and bottom. So nothing too aggressive. It's not hard to get on fasteners or anything like that. They've done a good job keeping the material nice and slim, not having a ton of material around the reversible or around the ratcheting mechanism like you see on a lot of cheaper wrenches. The gear wrench isn't terrible on this set, but like when you get into some of the cheaper wrenches, the amount of material around the ratcheting mechanism is ridiculous, and I was really surprised with how slim these were, how well they operated, and I love that it has an angle and that they're reversible, and they've worked very smoothly for me. So those are some of my favorite and go-to wrenches anytime that I'm working out of this box, which technically isn't all that often because I have basically everything I need over here. But that's really it as far as my wrenches. It's basically just the same thing over here, just in SAE and metric. So a lot of combination wrenches, spline drive, reversible, long wrenches, things like that. And like I said, nowhere near all of the different designs available. There are a lot out there, but then again, as a DIYer or even a professional, it's not necessary not just to have all of the wrenches, but you don't always need top of the line. Once again, buy what fits your budget, buy the best that you can for your budget, and make sure that you have a good, easy warranty, unless you really just don't care, and we'll just buy a different wrench set if something breaks. But other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts of the Tool Talk videos. I know they're a little bit longer, but that's just what we're here to do. We're just here to talk about tools, and I really hope you guys enjoy. If you guys haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time.